When we are trying to manifest anything, the main problem that we always get is how to perceive 3D, how to tackle 3D. 3D is such an important thing that we just cannot ignore. Do we really need to ignore 3D? I will talk about that in this video, so let's start this video. But before that, hi, my name is Shivani. I'm a manifestation coach. I teach people how to turn their dreams into reality using their own subconscious mind. So if you're looking to book a session with me, check the description and you will find all the details that is required for you to do so. And let's start this video. Okay, so before I talk about how to perceive 3D, we should just know what is 3D in the first place. 3D is nothing else but third dimension. Like, it is the literal full form of 3D. 3D means third dimension, and third dimension means what we can perceive with our five senses. So whatever you can perceive with your five senses right now at this moment is your 3D. So anything that you can sense with your eyes, touch, taste, smell, anything that you can listen is 3D. Now, when we are trying to manifest, it is often said that you have to ignore your 3D. So when we are talking about manifestation, it is often said that we need to forget about 3D and we need to ignore 3D. But is it really possible to ignore 3D? And the answer is no, because 3D is something that you are constantly seeing, constantly hearing, constantly tasting, anything. Like, basically whatever you're experiencing with your five senses is 3D. So it is your current circumstances. So how someone can ignore the 3D? All you can do is perceive your 3D as a different thing. Perceive your 3D in a different manner. So when I take one-on-one sessions, I always ask people to look at their 3D as a feedback and not something which is permanent and not something which is like stuck. It is never stuck. The only thing that is making it stuck is your inner world. So if you are not able to change your inner world, your 3D will always stay stuck. So now the question is how to perceive your 3D. As I said, you need to consider 3D as your feedback. 3D is nothing but a manifestation of your old thoughts, beliefs, actions and assumptions. So whatever you had in your past is your 3D, right? So whatever you had thought in your past is 3D, and whatever you have assumed in your past is 3D. Whatever you have imagined in your past is 3D. Now imagination is also what you hear and what you think, what you talk. That is also imagination. Daydreaming comes in a lot of ways. It is not just visualization, it is also in a conversation that we do with ourselves. So we should really focus on perceiving 3D in a different manner. We should try to perceive our 3D as a feedback, as I said. So how do we perceive 3D as a feedback? So if you want to perceive a 3D as a feedback, you have to just do this exercise for once. Take a paper and write down all the things that have happened in your past, and those things must be the things that you have thought about or you have, unknowingly manifested. And whenever you think about your 3D or whenever you see your 3D, you need to look down at that list and see that, okay, I thought about it and then it happened. I thought about the second thing and then it happened. So that means my 3D is just a feedback and it is showing me what I once thought. So if I want to change my 3D, I have to keep my thoughts aligned. I have to keep my thoughts in check. I have to keep my thoughts in control. And if I will be able to do that, I will totally ignore my 3D. Because ask yourself this one thing, that why do you even need to react to your 3D when your 3D is dead? I mean, why would you react at your 3D when you know that it is the result of your older thoughts, it is the result of your older assumptions, it is the result of your older beliefs? So why would you react to it? Just keep this thing in mind. I always tell people to make a list of all the things that they need to recall whenever they are reacting to their 3D. Make a list of all the things that are key point in manifestation. So you should always keep a note of few points that 3D is a dead reality. 3D is my older thoughts. 3D is my old assumptions. 3D works in delay. 3D is not consistent. 3D is never permanent. You need to keep these things written down at the convenience of just a tap or just one click, because as soon as you're triggering, or as soon as you are getting triggered, you need to recall these things. And if you don't have someone who can recall these things or who can reinforce these things into your mind, you will just keep reacting. And as I always say, if you will just keep reacting, you will keep attracting more of those things. So if you want to break the reality loop, you have to stop reacting to your 3D. Now, when I say you have to stop reacting to your 3D, is it like something that you can just press a button and it will stop? No, it is not. It comes with discipline. It comes with the self-control. It is not something that you can achieve in one day, but you can take baby steps towards it. If you're taking baby steps towards it, you will notice that little by little you have started to not react at your 3D and rather respond. It is your duty to respond and not react. We always react to the things which we believe are true. So if you're reacting at your 3D with your older beliefs, are you even changing your beliefs? Ask yourself this question. Needs the awareness first. Like, doctor cannot diagnose, or he or she cannot treat your disease until he knows which disease do you have. He needs to run some tests to make himself aware that you are diagnosed with this particular disease, and then he can treat it. This is the same thing with our own body. If you want to change your older beliefs, you have to first become aware of these older beliefs. And that also goes on with your 3D. If you want to change your 3D, you have to first stop reacting to it. If you are continuously reacting to your 3D, you are just keeping that same thing in your life over and over again. So you need to learn how to perceive your 3D in a way which is in favor of your desire. You need to learn how to perceive your 3D in a way which serves you, which does not harm your manifestation. So I will just give you an example of this thing that I just said. So if you want to change your 3D, you have to first look at your 3D in a way which is beneficial to you. So one example of that would be, so if you are stuck in a situation, but your belief is that I am the superior one and I do not need anyone's help. So if someone would offer you help for that situation, you would just simply take it as an offense, and you would think that they are offering me help because they think that I am not capable enough and I am not good enough to do this thing by my own. This is like the basic example. Another example would be, if I'll just give you an example related to SP, because that is something that interests a lot of people. So suppose you and your SP were in no contact for a long time, and suddenly your SP blocked you, and it happened after you have started affirming. So you guys had no contact, alright, and after some time he decides to block you out of nowhere. Isn't it a sign that your manifestation is working? Because I would definitely take it as a sign that he definitely thought about me, because we had no conversation for months and suddenly he decides to block me. That means he definitely thought about me, and that means my affirmations are working. But someone who is not very optimistic and is pessimistic, they would take it as literally a sign that their manifestation is not working, and he blocked you out of nowhere. Baby girl or baby boy, they did not think about you for months, and out of nowhere they decided to block you. That means your affirmations are working, right? They had started to think about you after you have started affirming for them. So take it as a sign that your manifestation is working, and it is already done, because a small movement that you have seen is a sign that your manifestation is done. We always look at our 3D based on the beliefs that are familiar to us, and if you want to change that belief, we have to change the way we perceive at our 3D. So if you want to change your 3D, as I said, you have to change how you look at your 3D. 3D is just a feedback, and you need to keep these things in mind that I told you in this video. If you will keep these things in mind when you are getting triggered, you will definitely be able to lessen the time that you are getting triggered for. So suppose earlier you were getting triggered for 4 days, 5 days. If you will recall these things instantly, or if you will recall these things even after 3 hours, 4 hours, it is a win, because gradually you are lessening the time that you took earlier to get back to your senses and realize that you were getting triggered and you were reacting all along, all this time and all this while. So make sure that you are not getting triggered, and if you are getting triggered, you are practicing on lessening the time that you are taking to get back to your senses once again, and starting to affirm once again. Because as I always say, whatever you say becomes your reality, whatever you think becomes your reality. And if you want to change your reality, you have to be first self-aware that what you are doing and how you are reacting and how you are perceiving your daily life and situations around you and events around you. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful to you, and if it was, you know the drill: like, share and subscribe. And if you want to book a session with me, check the description and you will find all the details that is required for you to do so. And I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye, take care.